Namaste, angels. It's the daily reading for today, April 8th, Monday. The moon is in Gemini today, so it joins Mars. I couldn't remember for the life of me the other day when I was doing one of the readings. I think it's the Lover reading. I'm like, where the hell is Mars? And it wouldn't come to me. And then after, when I was watching the live, the premiere with other people, I was like, oh yeah, the moon is in Mars. That's probably another reason why all this Gemini is popping up, because it was all throughout all three of the readings I did this weekend. Makes a lot of sense because we're in this period of Aries, which Mars rules. So it's like, okay, here's the Mars energy, but it's in Gemini. In any case, moon there also. So maybe they're playing around, having a good time, and probably pushing us to take action in some area of our life. We're going to begin, see what action other people may have taken this time of year, this day in history, beginning with the year 1767, when Ayutthaya, a kingdom, falls to the Burmese invaders. I never even heard of the kingdom, so I guess maybe that's why, because it fell to the Burmese in 1767. 1886, William Ewart Gladstone introduces the first Irish Home Rule Bill into the British House of Commons. 1898, Battle of Atbara River, Anglo-Egyptian forces crush 6,000 Sudanese. That's a very interesting description. Anglo-Egyptian. Okay. I'm just making stuff up now, I guess. In any case, they killed 6,000 Sudanese people at this Battle of Atbara River. 1913, opening of China's first parliament takes place in Peking, which is now Beijing. And 2004, Darfur conflict. The humanitarian ceasefire agreement is signed by the Sudanese government and two rebel groups. Second time Sudanese people came up on this day. I like to pay attention to all the little patterns. Famous birthdays: Juan Ponce de Leon, Mary Pickford, and Robert Allen Litchfield. Would you believe the first fire escape is patented? It's a wicker basket on a pulley and chain. This happened on this day in the year 1766. 1716, Duke Carol Leopold of Mecklenburg-Schwerin signs covenant with Russia and marries Tsar Peter the Great's niece. Mecklenburg County, South Carolina is where my family lives. And so I stopped there. I stopped after Mecklenburg, but it's Mecklenburg-Schwerin. 1779, U.S. Defector General Benedict Arnold, 38, weds Peggy Shippen, 18, at Shippen's townhouse in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 1907, industrialist Henry J. Kaiser, 24, weds Bess Fosberg in Boston, Massachusetts. And famous deaths: Caracalla, which I think we just read about him the other day, so I probably won't reread it. We'll just confirm. Pablo Picasso and Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher is fully named, or was fully named, Margaret Hilder Roberts. She was a British Prime Minister, the first female British Prime Minister, and known as the Iron Lady. While in office, her policies became known as Thatcherism, with an emphasis on deregulation, free markets, and the privatization of state-owned companies. While support for her government fell in the first term due to high unemployment and recession, her victory in the 1982 Falklands War with Argentina brought her into power in the following year's election. On the international stage, she remained skeptical of the European community and forged a close ideological alliance with U.S. President Ronald Reagan. After re-election for third term in 1987, Thatcher's position on European community caused a split in her cabinet, and her poll tax community charge was widely unpopular. She was forced to resign in 1990 after challenges to her leadership of the party by senior conservatives. She was born on October 13th in 1925 in Grantham, Lincolnshire, England, and was an ox in the Chinese zodiac and a Libra. Interesting. She died on April 8th in 2013 at the age of 87 of a stroke. I clicked on Pablo Picasso. Okay. He was a painter, Spanish, perhaps the most famous and influential artist of the 20th century. He moved to Paris to work on his native Spain. He moved to Paris to work from his native Spain. Picasso's long artistic career included many styles, including his early blue and rose periods before developing Cubism with Georges Braque from 1909. His most famous painting, Guernica, in 1937, depicts an event from the Spanish Civil War and comes from his later classical period. Picasso worked with many mediums, including collage sculpture, the Chicago Picasso, ceramics, and prints. He was born on October 25th in 1881 or 99 in Malaga, Andalusia, Spain, and was a Scorpio. He died on April 8th in 1973 at the age of 91. And this Caracalla, Caracalla, the Roman emperor, we did talk about him just days ago. He was born on April 4th and died on April 8th, so I won't go over him again. Going back up to the birthdays. Robert Allen Litchfield is 70 years old today. He was a bank robber, American, one of the 10 FBI most wanted fugitives during the 1980s. He was born on April 8th in 1948, and again is 70 years old, a rat on the Chinese zodiac, and an Aries. Sounds funny, a rat, right? And he was a robber, he was a crook. Mary Pickford was fully named Gladys Marie Smith, and she was an actress, Canadian, famous for Coquette, the Poor Little Rich Girl. She was born on April 8th in 1892 or 9/11 or 11 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and was an Aries. She died on May 29th in 1979 at the age of 87 of cerebral hemorrhage. And lastly, Juan Ponce de Leon was an explorer and a conquistador. He was Spanish. He first arrived in the Caribbean with Columbus on the second voyage in 1493. In 1502, he served under the new governor of the Hispaniola, Nicolas de Ovando, and was involved with the massacre of the local population of Taínos. Bastard. Later, he became the governor of the eastern part of Hispaniola. In 1508, he founded the first European settlement in Puerto Rico, Campara. In 1513, which is 613 or 19, with a royal contract, he was the first known European to discover Florida, which he named. A popular myth asserts that another part of his exploration was a search for the Fountain of Youth. He was born on April 8th in 1460 in Santovas de Campos, Castile, Spain, and was an Aries. He died on July 15th in 1521 at the age of 61 of his wounds, it says. So wounds from what? I don't know. Then they don't say. But he was the last, though. So let's get into the dice. Buy shoes. Buy shoes. Again. We always got to buy shoes. Forget it. I do want some new sneakers, though. And stay in bed. I saw this guy in the store the other day, and before I even got close to him, I knew that he was wearing Armani Exchange sneakers. I guess my abilities come out in weird places. Like, how is that helpful to anyone, or to me in particular? Not at all. But sure enough, I got up closer to him when we were on the line, because he ended up in front of me in line at the grocery store. And I looked down and I saw an AX on the tongue or something, and I was like, yep. And then I saw like the back of it, the heel, and it said like exchange or something, and I was like, I knew it. Anyway, the dice say 29. The spirit says 29. Spiritual partnership today. Also, no. And weekend away. I don't know why, but we're back to this very Piscean energy with the 7 of summer. It's time to stop procrastinating and to make a decision that you can move you forward with a priority. If you need to do more research, then do so, but don't overthink the solution or the situation. Listen to your heart instead. Ugh. We have more of this bullshit too. The Five of Winter. Your current path isn't leading you toward the happiest possible outcome, so why not change it? Always maintain integrity and compassion, but be alert to the hidden agendas of others. Which gossip and funky shit came up in the love reading, actually. So that Five of Swords, and even possibly this Seven of Summer, may have to do with 29, spiritual partnership. Maybe because of a party of three. Something's, you know, about to pop off. Three of Autumn. Your most satisfying and profitable career or relationship or whatever, really, comes from following your passions, listening to your heart, and doing what brings you joy. Your life purpose is best fulfilled by allowing your talents and true self to shine forth out into the world. And so opposite the Seven of Summer, which also calls for us to listen to our heart. Again, there is some sort of decision that some of us have to make. And we need to avoid letting other people make it for us, or making it because of how it's going to make somebody else feel, you know, good or bad or indifferent, whatever. Other possible meanings for the Three of Autumn. Again, it's about abundance that is earned. So you may be thinking about a choice to make in terms of earning, in terms of work. It's a worker energy. And it could have to do with party of three, including a love triangle, which may have to do maybe why you want to make some sort of, you need to make some sort of decision too. Seven of Summer and the 10 of Summer. It's time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives or chosen family of close friends. Congratulations may be in order on happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy and balanced children. Seven of Summer. And it's the Two of Winter. Procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. Isn't this exactly what I just said and what the other two cards hinted at already? Let me read that again, because it is. It is exactly what I just said. Procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. And the overall energy is the Queen of Winter, experienced, self-sufficient, brilliant, and funny. All your life experiences have prepared you for this moment of truth. It's time to declutter your home, clear away situations that aren't working for you anymore, and to disengage from people who create more drama than happiness. They showed me this at the same time that they also showed me that the Prince of Winter was immediately behind her. Decisive, focused, driven, and impulsive. Get ready for progress to speed up. This situation requires you to choose logic and intellect over emotion and to make your decisions quickly. So again, with the decision, the Prince of Winter, of course, like the Queen, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, so someone likened to those traits or attributes. These two could be in a couple, perhaps male and female, as opposed to a gay couple, with the female or feminine, if it is a gay couple, being older, perhaps. It can be about a Queen of Winter, whoever this represents, male or female, masculine or feminine, needing, again, to make a decision quickly, or awaiting a decision that they need that information in order to move forward with something else. You know, maybe that just what they hear, some information they come into is going to allow them to make a decision, you know, one way or another. This can also be, again, the need to take some sort of action because of Mars being located in Gemini. The moon is also located in Gemini. The moon is about things that are hidden and missing information. So again, maybe perhaps we're just waiting for information. And as I went to move these, I accidentally picked up both and revealed the Queen of Autumn is also here upright. So maybe the news or information has to do with an earth sign and or finances or the material. Thoughtful, caring, creative, and ingenious. You will be given advice that's both practical and creative. Maybe that's the information, right, that the Queen is waiting for, that the Prince represents. It should be followed precisely, whatever this information is. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. So don't let your vibration be taken down by, negative information and things like gossiping and whatnot that came up in the love reading, for example. This partnership, I feel, also doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, especially since we see this giving. We're also to get some sort of advice from someone. And that advice doesn't have, just because it's earth, doesn't have to be about finances and material either. It can be about something that grows toward our abundance in other ways, our growth, our expansion, our education, our spiritualism, all kind of different things. I guess I'm trying to say, like, this, I'm also feeling can be some sort of like teacher-student kind of coupling, mentor, younger person, not a kid, but, and maybe not even actually younger, but, lesser informed than the other about whatever this information is. I don't know why I was made to say that. Because the difference between like the knight and the queen and also the page, like the knight and the queen, the knight and the page can sort of like blow with the wind or whatever. But the queen is like very matter of fact and maintains, her stance. And so she is more like the type to rein other people in and, to be teaching. In any case, I don't know what that's about. Crowning the masculine today is the Princess of Spring, energetic, outgoing, optimistic, and creative. Creative opportunities that you feel passionate about are flowing your way. Personal growth and broadened horizons will spark fresh and original ideas. Maybe that's from where it was coming. Because I just said, like, I felt something about growth and teaching, mentoring, maybe. So here we do have a masculine, a male, perhaps, just as these two cards had suggested, coming into an opportunity for growth, maybe to learn something. Doesn't really matter how, what kind of growth, some sort of abundance, an opportunity for him to which he's coming, that the Queen of Winter may be who facilitates that opportunity for him. The Queen of Winter and or the Queen of Earth. Surrounding the masculine. Okay, another character. It's the Queen of Summer now. Compassionate, loving, giving, and psychic. This is a time of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can trust completely. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs while caring for others. He may be moved to reach out, though, and try to reignite some sort of relationship, right? A new opportunity to start fresh. If he is an air sign, and more specifically, he is a Gemini, today, with the moon being in Gemini, actually it's in our first house of self, meaning that the moon yesterday for everybody, not just Geminis, for everybody, or prior, was in Taurus. For us, that's our 12th house of endings. So something ended, and now it is time for a fresh start, particularly, again, for a Gemini. But the Princess of Spring is an Aries, possibly, right, where Mars is. Mars is located in Gemini. The ruler of Aries, Mars, is located in Gemini currently. Can also be a Sagittarius or a Leo. And then in that case, perhaps a younger one. or more youthful, if it represents an actual person. Masculine subconscious. So much going on. It is Major Arcana card, the World, which also has a fire energy for me. So it could be connected to this opportunity and or to Mars or Jupiter. Congratulations on successfully accomplishing what you set out to do. You've made it through the challenges and incorporated the life lessons offered to you with grace and courage. So now he's ready for something new. Again, an ending and then a new beginning. Is what this is saying. For those who haven't yet reached the ending, it's happening. You're being eased out of a situation that doesn't work for you so that you can be presented with a new one. I posted something on Facebook like this today, actually. It was a little girl holding a teddy bear, like very tightly, and it was Jesus, it was white Jesus, on his knees, just specifying what the picture looked like, on his knees with a larger teddy bear behind his back. And the little girl was like, but God, I love my teddy bear. Like, please don't take him from me. And he was saying, like, just have faith in me. Trust me. She didn't know what he had behind his back, which again was a much larger teddy bear. So he was saying, give me that one. Let go of that one. And basically that is the moral. We might have something that we feel is good, that we want to hold on to, whether it's a relationship, a job, whatever, a circumstance. We're happy where we are. But the universe has larger plans for us. Jupiter, again, ruler of Sagittarius, which this card typically represents for me, has larger plans for us. And so Jupiter is the planet of growth and expansion. That's the larger plans. And so we need to let go of what it is we do have that's taking up the space for this more magnificent thing that wants to come in. That's what the world is about for me. Most people actually read it. They go, textbook shit. They look at it and they say, oh, the world is, at your feet. The world is your oyster. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. That's not what it means. Feminine, crowning us today, the Ace of Winter. So here's the new start that I was talking about. Implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you to refine your plan and to reshape your goals into something even better. So again, getting rid of something lesser for something greater. Feminine surrounded by the King of Summer. It's another couple. It might be the same couple of people, but it's another representation on the table of this having to do with some sort of coupling. And we have the Queen mirroring the King. The King of Summer is warm-hearted, devoted, loving, and faithful. A trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise, not unwise, and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. So feminine, it can be us who is receiving information too. The King of Summer is somebody who acknowledges that he has emotions, accepts it, is proud of them, but he's not a punk, he doesn't he knows how to keep them in check. Let's put it that way. He knows how to be vulnerable and show them and share them when it's the appropriate time, and to keep himself together when it's the appropriate time. He is a Scorpio, perhaps like the Queen, Pisces, or Cancer, someone likened to those traits or attributes. Feminine subconscious. The Seven of Autumn. The planning, resources, and efforts that you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. In the meantime, have patience and meditate on your next steps. It can be with regard to whatever this new start is. You may be saying, why isn't my new start taking off? And maybe something is happening that you can't see in that area. But whether it is or not, when this card shows up, particularly in this placement, it is the universe saying, like, calm your mind, don't overthink, don't panic, don't worry. You've already done what you needed to do toward this thing working out. The rest is up to someone else, God, you know, whatever other factors there may be. Crowning. The Seven of Summer is back. It's time to stop procrastinating and to make a decision so that you can move forward with a priority. If you need to do more research, then do so, but don't overthink the situation. Listen to your heart instead. It's possible that some of us have a choice in mate, or like whether or not to get back together with somebody that's returned to our life or something, going for a second chance. At the root, foundation. Yeah, there had been a loss. It could have been a loss of the relationship. Or a feeling of loss, a feeling of lack, a feeling of void. Like this, you know, maybe there wasn't like a horrible breakup, but it was like this relationship is going nowhere fast. You know, just feels like it lacks. It feels like it voids. I'm not interested. You're not interested. And maybe that decision hasn't yet been made. Maybe it has to be made. And there may be potential for a better relationship, like right around the corner for you. Definitely, I don't think that this card has anything to do with financial loss this time, although in the suit of Earth, with all this love and emotion surrounding it. Focusing upon the negative or worrying about money or your career or crappy relationships, or just void and lack in general, can block your progress. Because your trust and faith are at a low point right now, it's not the best time to try to start something new, like a new business or to become self-employed. Or maybe a new relationship. Not the best time until you pick up your spirits. At the heart of the matter, a more indication of a decision that has to be made. It's the Two of Winter. Procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. Now, this definitely looks like it has to do with relationships. We have the Queen of Cups, basically, and the King of Cups separated by the Two of Swords. Like, what are you guys going to do? Now that we found love, what are we going to do about it? Yeah, procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. I think I'm going to clarify these three right here down the middle today. Beginning with the Seven of Cups. Nine of Spring. You've worked hard, and what you've created is impressive and worthy of protecting. Annoying challenges may pop up, but don't worry. You'll get through them just as you have in the past. So if you're tossing around whether or not you can pursue an idea or relationship or whatever, the universe says to keep going. Yes, to pursue the idea. The Five of Autumn, this loss. What is this about? A wonderful new opportunity presents itself. So you blew the first opportunity. They're not telling us anything we didn't know, right? I already said this looks like a second chance, or feels like a second chance to me. First opportunity was lost. It was blown. Wonderful new opportunity presents itself. It may have come as a surprise, but you'll still want to leap into action and to passionately pursue every possibility. You didn't leap into action. Instead, you did nothing. The Two of Swords is represents inaction for me, right? It's saying, and I guess it does in general too. It's saying that the procrastination and worrying is blocking you from making a decision. It means you're not doing anything. There is a decision that needs to be made, but you're not making it. You're just doing nothing. So you did nothing. You didn't leap at the opportunity. You blew it. It's coming around again. If you're wondering, should you pursue? The answer is yes. Now that may speak more so to the masculine. or I may have just spoken more so to the masculine, but I think the same, applies to the feminine. And with the feminine, it may be more so, like with the masculine, there's a potential here for it to be a job or something, from what I feel. Something that he would enjoy doing, maybe even love doing. Could be like where his passions lie. The job of his dreams. The 7 of Cups can represent dreams, fantasy. But he blew an opportunity before. Something's coming back around. With the feminine, I guess it could have to do with work too, because the Ace of Winter could be any kind of new start that's difficult to get going. Including a relationship, but I think it's more so having to do with a relationship. This will be advice for the masculine, advice for the feminine. We won't look at this one. 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 But this one is the one with which we're going to clarify the 2 of Winter. Oh, goodness. It doesn't even want me to pick it up. It is the 4 of Autumn. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you're spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building up walls that keep people out. So, again, it looks like fear of lack. I gotta hoard this. And that could be emotion too. Like, I gotta hold myself back. I gotta hoard myself and keep my emotions to myself, keep my love to myself, because I'm, afraid. Or I don't know what to do, because what would, my friends think if I pursued this? What would my mother think? What would the church think? What would whoever think? So let me just hold on tight instead. It is about us holding on too tightly to ourselves or to somebody else or something, rather than grabbing life by the balls and living it. And maybe connected again to an air sign, and perhaps most specifically a Gemini. The Princess of Winter. Logical, truthful, curious, and undiplomatic. This is an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. So the messenger, in this case right now, this messenger right in this moment is in fact a Gemini, and is telling you you've been holding on to something, someone, too tightly, and in that way blocking yourself off away from new opportunity that wants to present itself. Just like the story I told about the little girl and the teddy bear and Jesus. And it could very well be in the area of love, and perhaps with a water sign. The Prince of Summer. Romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions. Again with the decisions, what are you going to do? Make the decision with both your heart and your intellect, is what the Knight of Cups comes to tell you. Definitely this could be a situation between an air sign and a water sign. And Jupiter and or Mars wanting to help you out. For others, to whom that doesn't apply, those signs and stuff, again, for the masculine, I definitely felt that this could have something to do with work and finance and opportunities in that regard too. But the feminine, I still feel has to do with love or a loved one. So maybe a relationship with somebody else about whom you care, if it's not a romantic interest. But where you've been hesitant to, maybe be vulnerable or to take an opportunity to mend fences and work some things out, the guidance is to go ahead and go for it. Keep going. Like, if you've invested too much already, it's worth it. You deserve it. The other person deserves it. And the situation or, union perhaps is worthy of your attention. Boom! Masculine. Another card that represents second chances. It is Major Arcana card 20, Renewal in this deck, also known as Judgment. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and to make changes so that you're on the path most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been without judgment and fearlessly embrace what's to come. Major Arcana card Judgment for me represents the planet Pluto, ruler of Scorpio, or the other ruler at least, because remember Mars, which is located in Gemini, is also a ruler of Scorpio. Judgment also has to do with abundance that is earned, often financial. That you've, like I said, you've earned it, you're due it. It's sort of like the Three of Earth that showed up when I was still shuffling. You are due something, raise, promotion, settlement. Some sort of you being uplifted somehow. It's your time. And maybe something didn't work out the last time this blessing was supposed to come to you. It's coming around again. And feminine, oh, see? Our advice fits everything that we've seen and said today too. It is Major Arcana card 0, the Dreamer, or the Fool in the traditional tarot. You are starting a new adventure. Run free and take a leap of faith. This tells us, yes, we missed the opportunity last time. We failed to leap. We failed to jump. It's coming around again. The jump may look a little scary. It may not be as easy. We may stumble even. But take the leap anyway is what the angels have to say today. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the daily. I'll be back tomorrow. Namaste.